Hello there, you're once more welcome to the Glory Realm Devotion moment. This is the moment the glory of God invades your life and causes there to be an unusual revolution. God has something beautiful for you. This is the time for you to have the blessing and the glory settle upon your life. You know, yesterday we were looking at the gospel book of John chapter number 6, and Jesus was trying to get some folks to understand that, look, worship, serving God is much more than, the surface thing, the selfish, intent that we have, fleshly gratification that some people want to settle for. They came to hear him, they came to see him actually, because they ate bread the previous day. In verse 26, Jesus told them, you came to look for me, not because of any other thing, not because you saw the miracles or the signs, but you actually came because you ate food yesterday. And sorry, that's the wrong way of following me. And Jesus made them understand that they need to go for the reason. And you know what? They said, okay, show us what we need to do to work the works of God. But you see, when Jesus told them, all you need to do is to simply believe in the one whom the Lord has sent, and that's talking about himself. They came up with a wonderful, solution or the suggestion, and they said, oh, why don't you show us some signs? It is very obvious that there are some folks who were there that were not part of the meeting of the previous day where he multiplied the bread and the fish. Okay, so they were like, okay, these other persons have seen that. Would you just show us some signs? And Jesus had this answer for them. Verse number 31. Let's go back to verse number 29. Jesus replied, This is the work service that God asks of you, that you believe in the one whom he has sent, that you cleave to, trust in, rely on, believe, have faith in his messenger. And then in verse 30, that's what I was talking about a while ago. They replied, therefore they said to him, what signs, miracles, working, what signs, what miracle, wonder works will you perform then, so that we may see it and believe? Take note of, they're talking about see it, that we may see it and believe. So they are only going to believe if they see it, but if they don't see it, they are saying we won't believe. All right? And that we may see it and believe and rely on and adhere to you. What supernatural work have you to show what you can do? What supernatural work have you to show what you can do? Our forefathers ate the manna in the wilderness. You see, human beings will never give up. They are directing him back to the bread they ate the previous day. So they said, our forefathers ate the manna in the wilderness, as the scripture says. He gave them bread out of heaven to eat. And look at what happened. Verse 32, Jesus then said to them, I assure you, most solemnly, I tell you, Moses did not give you the bread from heaven. What Moses gave you was not the bread from heaven, but it is my Father who gives you the true heavenly bread. So it didn't come from Moses. It didn't come from the law. It didn't come from all of those your traditional stuff. It is my Father who gives you bread from heaven. All right? And Jesus went to clarify when he went on to say in verse 33, for the bread of God is he who comes down out of heaven and gives life to the world. That's the bread of God. Is he. So he's a personality. The personality who came down from heaven. It is the personality who came down from heaven. Jesus said, that's the true bread of life. And he was making reference to himself. Verse 34 says, then they said to him, Lord, give us this bread always, all the time. You see, they refused to give up on the bread to eat. So give us this bread always. They're looking for it, to have it all the time. But he has said, what he's talking about is a personality But they refused to see it as a personality. They saw that as an opportunity. So give us this bread so we can eat all the time, always. And in verse 35, Jesus replied, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me, take note of that, he who comes to me will never hungry. He who comes to me will never be hungry. And he who believes in and cleaves to and trusts in and relies on me will never thirst anymore. Jesus made them clear. He has said, he who comes from heaven is the bread of life. And they said, give us this bread. Give us bread so that we can eat every day. And Jesus said, I am the bread of life. So do you want to eat me now? You will need to eat me now. That's the reality. Say, I am. And now he said, he who comes to me will never be hungry. Take note of that. And he who believes in me will never thirst again. So if you come to him, you'll never be hungry. David said, I was young and I'm old. I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor their seeds begging for bread. What is Jesus saying? If you truly come to him, if you truly rely on him, if you come to him, he said you will never be hungry. And then he said, if you believe, you will not be thirsty. You will never get thirsty again. So when you come to Jesus, he takes care of your food issue in the real sense of the true needs of your life. And then if you believe in him, he says this, you will never be thirsty. So have you really truly come to Jesus? Or is it that you just go to a church? There's a lot of difference between being in a church and actually being with Jesus. Have you come to Jesus? All right. Now, a lot of people have been in church, but yet they do not believe. They speak this church language. They quote scriptures, like these people were quoting the scriptures about the feeding of the people in the wilderness by God. But they really didn't believe. Are you in that category of people? Do you really believe? It is not enough to be in church. It is not enough to be there every Sunday, including weekdays. If you don't believe, you'll just have a dry religious life that is not going to amount to anything wonderful. So why don't you abandon your religious traditional life and fix your eyes on Jesus, who is the author and finisher of your faith? And then you will be amazed the glory that will come upon your life. It's been a wonderful time on the broadcast today, and it is my prayer that you will not miss Jesus, but that your eyes will be on him, and that you will serve him for who he is, and that you will be in his presence. You will come to him, not just to a physical church building or join a church or a religious group, but come to Jesus, and he will take care of your hunger. Believe in him, and he will take care of your thirst. Thank you for being part of this broadcast. Till I see you, by the grace of God, tomorrow, I'm Igho Yegbeburu. God bless you.